watching it, I was sitting there like, did they really just do that with? How could you do? Why are you gonna make us care about these people and then just do that? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this, James Gunn? Why would you do this to us? Why would you do this to us?
Woke up this morning, been in that shine. Whole team got the glow. You can see it in the stride. Got me feeling brand new. Feeling brand new. Got me feeling brand new. Yeah.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy JusRzd, and welcome to another edition of Rage Reviews. Today, we're finally tapping in with the Creature Commandos finale, episode 7. This series and their backstories are like, what? Like, bruh, like their backstories are sad. It's sad or they're crazy. One of the two. It's never. Granted, they are creatures. They're monsters. So I get it. It's got to be tragic. But it's either super crazy or it's super sad. Frankenstein's was crazy. The Bride's was crazy. Weasels was sad. GI Robots was kind of all over the place. Dr. Phosphorus is super sad. And now, this episode starts off with Nina's backstory. Sad. It was sad, bro. It was super sad. Like, we see her being born to what we thought was a loving father and mother, but clearly had two different reactions to the hand that they were dealt in this particular situation. We see their baby was born with a deformity where their lungs were outside of their body. So the baby was born with lungs outside of its body. So they had to put them in a specific machine just so the baby could survive. And we see that the doctor's trying to give the mother and father an opportunity and a choice to like take everything in. It's going to be a very difficult life. We can only keep her alive here for so long. She's going to struggle. It's going to be a lot. And the father, he's a scientist. He steps up to the challenge. He's like, no, it's my daughter. I love her. The mother, on the other hand, is just like, you know what? This is a lot. I don't want to see my baby suffer like this. I feel like we should do what the doctor's advising. And of course, the father convinces his wife in the moment to allow her to survive a little longer, and he builds her a machine that looks like it's heavier than her as a baby, that helps her actually breathe and helps protect her lungs. And it's just sad to see them going through that, to see the tension in their relationship because of that situation. We see the mother feels away, the father feels hopeful. The mother's like, nah, man, we can't keep doing this. The machine that you built her is like, she can't live like this. It's bigger than her. Like, she can't even sit up with it. Like, he's just like, nah. He's just like, what's gonna happen when she outgrow it? He's like, well, I'll build her another one. And then she's like, you're gonna have to build her another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. It's like, when is it gonna end? And so it was just sad to just see that juxtaposition all the way up until the point where they eventually split because the stress of everything was just too much. And it was just sad, man. Her backstory was sad. And we ain't even got to the part where she's like grown up for real. We see her getting a little bit older, still having the machine, and him trying to take his daughter to the park. And the way she's breathing just looks like everything is so much stress on her lungs, her body. it just looks like a lot. Even with the breathing machine apparatus thing that he built for her attached to her, she's panting like she's out of breath. It just looked bad. It looked sad. And we see him pretty much trying to do an experiment with her. He experimented with aquatic life forms to see if that could help with her situation. He injects her, and she immediately goes into like cardiac arrest on the table. And so he picks her up and sees that she's transforming. After he gave her the shot and after the cardiac arrest, she's like transforming into something else. And so he grabs her, super scared, fills the sink up with water, puts her in the water, and the doctors are looking at him like, yo, you're finna drown her. Like, what are you on, bro? Like, what's going on? What's happening? And yeah, she ends up, of course, waking up in the water as the form she's in now. And just calls out to her dad. He's just like, oh, thank God. And so the next scene, we see her enrolling into school. He was enrolling. She had gotten older. She now has like the helmet that she had and the little outfit. So that way she's always got water so that she can breathe. And we see him enrolling her in public school, which I feel his heart in it, wanting her to experience life with other people, but I don't think he really thought that through. Like, it's some jerks. Kids are jerks. And she has a lot of differences than them. You didn't think she was going to get bullied? Like, you didn't have that thought that she might be bullied? I'm pretty sure when her dad went to school, he got bullied for being smart. So, why would you send your kid with all those differences to public school? I would have definitely either sent her to private school or homeschooled her myself. And he just went down the list. She knows several languages. She can do this, she can do that, she can do that. And they let her into school, and lo and behold, she got bullied. She got bullied by the boys. She got bullied by the girls. Like, she just got bullied. And it was just, it was sad to see her go through that. I ain't gonna hold you. And then just seeing her backstory, she got sick of the abuse. The setup of her bed was actually kind of interesting because it was like a little kiddie, not a kiddie pool, but it was like it almost looked like a playpen with water in it. Like a glass playpen with water in it. And that's where she would sleep. And it's just like, man, yo, this is sad. But she ends up running away. Her dad comes home distraught, finding the letter that she wrote saying that this human world isn't for her and she needs to go where she can thrive. And so we see her just kind of go into the sewer. Then we see her jump into a larger body of water. And then we see her kind of just doing her own thing, catching fish and eating fish and just swimming around different areas. She gets spotted by somebody who was night bird watching, allegedly. And pretty much once she gets spotted there, they send hunters out there to catch her for a prize, of course. And they end up catching her. And the whole time she was out there, her dad didn't know where she was or where she was at. He sees the news report and he's like, yo, that's my daughter. So he goes down there. Like I said, they captured her, the people captured her, and the dad pushes through the police and everybody in the big crowd to get to his daughter. And it was two cops there that was just doing their job but doing too much at the same time. The dad finally gets there. He finally sees his daughter after all this time, and one of the police ends up shooting him and unaliving her father right in front of her. And so, of course, she's freaking out. Nobody even knows the entirety of her backstory and what she's been through. They just think she's a creature, and they want to get her up out of here. And so we see that pretty much being how she got captured. And it was just sad. And the whole time in the present time, we see Frankenstein catching an Uber to the princess's castle, trying to stop the bride and all of that, trying to relay the information. The whole time he's talking to the Uber's head off, and just like, oh, she really loves me. It's my bride. We were supposed to be together, and this, that, and the third. And the Uber driver's terrified. He's just simply like, hey, bro, I don't really want to be here, but you already in my back seat, so I'm gonna get you where you're going, and then I'm gone. As soon as he dropped him off, Buddy was out of there. And we see the Commandos, who finally met back up last episode, are now trying to break in the princess's castle. Whole time the princess is like, I'm not breaking my daily routine, so I'm gonna go for a swim in the pond in the back like I normally do. And even though her security advised against it, she was like, don't y'all got guards out there? He was like, well, yeah. She was like, then I'm finna go swim. And so she goes to swim, and the Commandos end up getting into the control room, and they see something a little disturbing on the monitors, but we don't really get to see what they saw, and it's not exposed. It's not revealed what they saw until later on in the episode. But we see the Commandos take out a few guards. They end up breaking through the wall. Before they break through the wall, Frankenstein tries to stop them and warn them, but as soon as Bride sees him, she shoots him. And so she shoots him so many times, and just pretty much takes Frankenstein out of commission. Not unaliving him, but just taking him out of commission. And we see the Commandos use Dr. Phosphorus to burn a hole through the wall, get to where the pond is, where she's swimming, and they're like, yo, we kind of got a sneaker if we're gonna get this assassination attempt off. And we see the bride and Dr. Phosphorus kind of hint like, yo, it's kind of got to be you, because you're the only one who can breathe underwater. You're the only one who can do this stealthily with all these guards out here. And we see Weasel still kind of, because the princess played with him so much when they first interacted, he has like a soft spot. She reminds him of one of the kids that he played with and that he rescued in his backstory, or tried to rescue in his backstory. And so he's whimpering like a like a little lost puppy. And he's wanting to save the princess. And we see Nina finally take the knife that the bride offered and get down there and try to sneak the princess. And the whole time we see right at the last possible second, Weasel hops out of the bushes into the water trying to save the princess. Princess is like, yo, what's going on? And happens to look down in the water and sees Nina with the knife, turns the knife on Nina and unalives her. And it was just like, what? Like, watching it, I was sitting there like, did they really just do that with? How could you do? Why are you gonna make us care about these people and then just do that? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this, James Gunn? Why would you do this to us? Why would you do this to us? She was the best, like the most kind-hearted out of the crew. Like, what? Yeah, it caught me off guard. I was literally like, the whole time this scene was going on, I was like, what? They really? No. Like, oh, got me in my feelings again, James Gunn. Didn't appreciate that, but I appreciated that. But nah, man, it was a sad way to go out. The bride was shocked. While all this was going down, Amanda Waller ends up getting a message, like Flag kind of comes to his senses, and then passes back out while in the hospital room, and pretty much saying that the professor isn't the professor. So she goes to the professor's house, she finds the professor's body, sees Clayface still all over the floor after what Frankenstein did to him, electrocuting him. And so she ends up calling the princess security team, telling them that, hey, a mistake has been made. If you find the Commandos, give them this message for me. So she gives the security detail, who's the head of security, who actually has the phone, ends up pulling up on the bride after everything has just transpired, and is like, hey, this is for you. And Amanda Waller's like, I'm sorry, we made a mistake. And the bride is just sitting there distraught because Nina was her friend. She was like her only friend in the squad. They actually bonded, and it was just like, now she's gone. And yeah, it was just it was a sad moment. Like it was genuinely a sad moment. And we see and even Phosphorus tried to get Weasel back to prevent him interfering, and Weasel ends up biting him and ends up biting down on him and ends up burning his mouth because of course Phosphorus, his condition, he's full radiation. So that was kind of, I mean, it's Weasel, so of course it was gonna be stupid on his part, but it is what it is. The whole thing, they're getting debriefed on everything, and the bride just gets up, she's sitting next to Phosphorus, and Phosphorus is kind of mad that Weasel is now being heralded as a hero instead of himself. And the bride just kind of still seems checked out, and she gets up, walks away. She ends up going into the princess's office. They have a conversation, and the bride just calls the princess out on her BS, and she's like, look, I saw who you were talking to. And then that's when we get the big reveal of who she was actually talking to in the monitors. From what the Commandos saw, they didn't know who that person was, or at least Dr. Phosphorus didn't know who that person was. The princess was actually talking to Clayface, and Clayface, of course, impersonated the professor that got Amanda Waller to say that to agree with Cersei in unaliving the princess. And yeah, man, so if they were working together, the bride's like putting two and two together and like, yo, then we might have been right to try to assassinate you, because you might be trying to either conquer the world, rule the world, or end the world. None of those really seem like good options for me personally, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of you. And the bride ends up peeling her muffin cap back blue, and pulls the trigger and bink, takes her up out of there, unalives her, and makes her great escape with the rest of the team, with Weasel, with Phosphorus. Makes their great escape before anybody notices what just transpired. And yeah, that's pretty much how their story ends. We get post-credit scenes revealing that Frankenstein's still alive. It looks like he got rescued by another gypsy woman, and he's healing from all the gunshot wounds that the bride inflicted upon him. And then we also get revealed to the new Creature Commandos team that'll probably move forward in season 2. We got Nosferatu, which was the bat creature that the bride was talking junk to earlier in the lunchroom. We have a mummy now. King Shark is in there now. Dr. Phosphorus, of course. Weasel, of course. And a new and improved jumbo GI robot. And I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting team. I'm interested to see what the mummy's going to do. Don't really care about Nosferatu. Wouldn't even have put two and two together. That's who that was. King Shark should be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I just still feel a way that Nina's not going to be a part of the team. And I feel like it's all James Gunn's fault, because he made us care about these people just to take away one of the most kind-hearted people in the show. And I don't appreciate it, but I appreciate it. But it's neither here nor there. This particular episode for me, man, I'd give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 because I wasn't expecting that. You made me care about somebody, then you snatched them away from me. And I didn't appreciate it, but I appreciated it. Because it just showed how great your storytelling was, that I actually was invested in the fact of this. I was like, nah, she's not gonna try to go through with it. She's gonna draw back at the last second or something. And she tried to go through with it, didn't work out, and I was like, nah, he's not gonna take her out. I thought we was gonna get a chance to see her in live action. Nope. That ain't happening. She ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. But I thought it was dope the way they unfolded the story. I love how they told everybody's backstory. Some crazy, some sad. I thought that was dope. Overall, I'll probably give the season 1. I'll probably give it an 8. Overall for season 1, I'll give it an 8. I thought it was really well done by James Gunn. Some of these characters I still don't really care about that much. Like, I don't care about Frankenstein. He's crazy. I wouldn't be mind if he got Nena'd next season. But I feel like they'll probably do Frankenstein in live action at some point. So I don't think he'll get Nena'd. But Dr. Phosphorus I'm cool with. The Bride I'm cool with. G.I. Robot, he's okay. King Shark is cool. Nosferatu, she can get Nena'd. The Mummy, I ain't got no qualms. I'm interested to see what his ability is gonna be. I ain't gonna hold you. But outside of that, like I said, I like the way they told different people's backstories throughout the series. Thought that was a dope idea. The way it was executed, I thought was really dope. The way the story unfolded and was told, I thought was dope. The action, of course, the comedy, of course, hit on a lot of different levels. So I'm gonna give it a strong 8 for the whole series. For season 1, and for episode 7, I'm gonna give that a 9. But let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, if you feel like my takes are trash, if you feel like I'm hitting on something, if you feel where I'm coming from but you disagree, you have your own take, drop it in the comments. We can have a whole discussion about it. I'm not opposed to people sharing their opinion, because I'm sharing mine. So tap in with your boy in the comments and let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you've seen Creature Commandos. If you haven't, season 1 is now officially wrapped. They've already renewed season 2. Shout out to James Gunn for renewing your own series. That's how you like to see it. Not gonna hold you, because it'd be so much stuff that'd be good that get canceled randomly. It'd be like, bro, come on, dog. Y'all could have at least ended this on a good note. But I appreciate James Gunn for that. We know we're gonna get a season 2. I'm definitely gonna be tapped in for season 2 as well. But like I said, let me know in the comments below how y'all feel about season 1. What are your takes? What are your takeaways from it? Who are you interested to see in season 2? And don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in with your boy. And never forget, it's free show to the show free. Let's get it.